You know what? I've wasted more time than I care to think about trying to live to the same schedule as the early risers of the world. But after 60, some things don't just waste time, they drain your energy. So if you don't want to get out of bed with the larks and have everything done by 10 a.m, this video is for you. I'll give you 6 reasons why you should manage your time differently after 60. I have a rule. Do as little as possible before 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to wake to an alarm clock. I don't eat breakfast, meditate or go to the gym. I don't have a cold shower and I don't write morning pages either. If you came to my house before 10 o'clock in the morning, you might think I was wasting my day, because that's how a lot of people are conditioned to think, by all the up with the lark at 5 a.m. crap that gets peddled by productivity gurus. Before 10 a.m. you'll usually find me sitting with a cup of coffee, reading, just puttering, easing myself into the day. The productivity gurus would hate that. They'd tell me I'm wasting my best hours. I think they're wrong, because after 60, I don't think you should manage your time the way you did at 40. I think you should manage it completely differently. And since I started doing that, I have so much more energy and my days are more productive, not less. Let's talk about the reasons why I think you should manage your time differently after 60. Number 1, someone else's clock. For most of my working life, my days never really felt like my own. I woke up early because the alarm went off. I then commuted by car to the big city. I attended early meetings. I ate on the hoof when there was time, grabbing a quick sandwich. I felt like I was living to someone else's schedule. And after 20 years, that way of life became my norm. It felt so normal that even when I retired, I tried living exactly the same way. I still thought that if I'm not busy at 8 a.m, I'm being lazy. I felt guilty about sitting doing nothing, just drinking a cup of coffee. I was anxious that I was wasting the morning because I wasn't doing something useful. But who exactly made those rules? They weren't my rules. They were work rules. And I think a lot of people don't even realise that they take them with them into retirement. They made perfect sense when someone else owned your time. Your boss, team members, employees, when you had that commute even, and those meetings that you had to attend at the crack of dawn. Back then, people expected you to be somewhere at a certain time. But after 60, your time belongs to you. You shouldn't do anything because people expect it. So why still live like time belongs to somebody else? That's why I created my nothing before 10 rule. Not because 10 in the morning is a magical number, but because it reminds me that my day belongs to me. Number 2, your body clock. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is assuming everybody should live the same day. Wake up at 6, go to the gym for an hour, have a cold shower, eat breakfast, start work as early as humanly possible. The earlier, the better. For years, that was drummed into me. Early risers are more successful, right? They're more disciplined, they're more productive. Those early risers wore it like a bloody badge of honour, competing with each other to be first into the office. I can remember when I was younger, there was one colleague that I knew. He even slept in the office sometimes, so he could be first in. Silly bastard. Getting out of bed early might be true for the larks of the world, but it wasn't true for me. For years, I tried to be a morning person because that's what successful people were. The problem was, I'm an owl. I'd sit there at 7 o'clock in the morning trying to do some work, and my brain just wasn't ready. I should have just been waking up and getting out of bed. Over the years, I started paying attention to the feedback from my body, taking note of my energy levels, and I noticed something. My best thinking, my best writing, my best ideas almost always arrived later in the day. There's actually a name for this. It's your chronotype. Some people are larks, they're at their best first thing in the morning. Other people, well, they're owls. They come alive much later. Neither is better. The problem is most of us spend our entire lives trying to live like larks, even when we're not. But what we end up doing is feeling like we're failing, when really We're just working against our own nature. After 60, you finally have something you may never have had before in your life. You've got a choice. So use it. Don't ask, what time should I start? Ask, when am I at my best? This Oura ring that I wear has confirmed what I already knew, but it put a new name to it. I'm an early evening type. Now, discovering that changed everything for me. Now I go to bed at midnight and I rise at 8 a.m. with no alarm because that is my normal body clock. It's known as your circadian rhythm, and just that small change means I have plenty of energy to enjoy the day. Number 3, protect your best hours. After retiring, most people protect their money. I think you should protect your energy even more because money can be replaced. Time can't. And your energy, well, that's the thing that allows you to enjoy them both. I think it's easy to get this backwards. You fill your best hours with little jobs, answering emails, running errands, doing admin, picking up a few things from the shops, and then when it's time to do something important, the really creative stuff, you're knackered. Your brain stops firing on all cylinders and you wonder why you're not making any progress. I know when I'm mentally sharp and I know when I'm not, so I try to match the task to my energy levels. If I'm writing a script for one of these videos, for example, or maybe I'm filming a video or thinking through a big idea, I don't try to squeeze it in between those little jobs. I give it the best part of my day, my full focus, because that's what it deserves. Those small, boring jobs, they can wait. They will still be there for later, and that's when my creative energy has gone. I can tackle them then. So many people do the absolute opposite. They spend their best hours on things that don't really matter at all, and then they have got very little left in the tank for the things that really do. I think your calendar should protect your energy, not spend it. That's a very different way of thinking about time. After 60, don't try to manage every minute. Protect the best ones. Number 4, stop feeling guilty. For a long time, if I sat reading, drinking coffee, or simply just having thinking time, there was this little voice in my head that would say, "You should be doing something productive." I suspect I'm not the only one. I think a lot of people grow up with that little voice. It was drilled into me as a kid by my mother. Don't just sit there. Make yourself useful. Keep busy. Work hard. Don't waste the day. Now, don't get me wrong. That is good advice on the whole, and those are good values until they stop serving you. The strange thing was, I wasn't feeling guilty because I was doing nothing. I was feeling guilty because I wasn't looking busy. There's a big difference. Looking busy is not the same as living well. Some of the most important parts of my day look completely unproductive. Reading a good book, going for a long solo walk in nature, or just sitting in the garden, thinking, not scrolling, not rushing, just thinking and doing nothing. And here's what I've found. Some of my best ideas haven't come when I've been working hard. They've come when my mind has had room to wander. There's too much talk about productivity, and there's not enough talk about the benefits of doing nothing. The mind needs space. It needs quiet. It needs that unhurried time. And in your 60s, you finally have the chance to give it some space. So there is no need to fill every gap in your day. Leave room for your mind to think, for life to just happen. Because some of the best things that have happened to me, well, they weren't planned at all. They just happened. Because I finally stopped trying to schedule every single minute of the day. Number 5, give yourself permission. I think this is really what it all comes down to, permission. For years, everything is decided for you. The job, the calendar, the mortgage, the children, they all own your time. And now for the first time in decades, you get to decide. And yet, so many people don't do that. They still live as though they have to justify every hour to someone else, feeling guilty just sitting with a cup of coffee doing nothing, apologising for reading. You think you should be doing something every minute of the day, or you're being lazy. But who on earth are you trying to impress? Years ago, if I'd spent a midweek morning baking bread, which is what I like to do now, I'd have thought, God, what a waste of a morning. Now I look at that same morning and I think that was a good morning, because my definition of success and productivity has changed. It's no longer about how much can I get done. It's about how much did I enjoy the experience. If you ask me, that's a much better measure. Not every day has to be productive. Some days are simply there to be lived. And after 60, I think you've earned the right to stop apologising for that. Number 6, remember what time is for. Once you give yourself that permission, you start seeing time completely differently. For years, time was something to fill, schedule, manage, optimise. Now, I think time is something to protect and enjoy. I think this might be the biggest lesson of all. Time is not there to be filled. It's there to be enjoyed in the moment. I don't think the goal after 60 is to get more done. I think it's to have more good days. That's why I don't mind a slow morning. I don't know, baking bread, drinking coffee, doing a bit of reading, puttering, because those things aren't distractions from my life. They are life. For years, I thought life started after I finished work. Now I think life is actually happening while I'm drinking that cup of coffee or reading that book. Or maybe it's while I'm doing absolutely nothing. Those moments are not the gaps between life. They are life itself. And I don't think you realise that until you're older. People sometimes ask me about my 10 o'clock rule. The truth is, it isn't really about 10 o'clock. Your rule might be 8 o'clock. It might be noon. It might be 5 a.m. It might be something completely different. That isn't the point. The point is, it's whatever suits you. Don't spend the next 20 years living by a timetable that other people dictate that you no longer need. I spent too many years organising my life around somebody else's clock. I don't want to spend what remains of my healthy years doing exactly the same thing. At 65, I've earned the right to design my own day, and so have you. So don't ask, what should my schedule look like? Ask this question instead. What kind of life am I trying to create? Because after 60, your life is not made up of big moments. It's made up of ordinary Tuesdays. The way you spend an ordinary Tuesday is probably the way you're spending your whole life. Freedom isn't about having more time. It's about finally giving yourself permission to use it differently. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if this video resonated with you, watch this one next. It's about the 6 things you can rely on after 60, but not family. Thanks for watching. See you next time.